evening and welcome to Toyota Field. Tonight's matchup is presented by Toyota and features Seattle Sounders FC2 and San Antonio FC.
It's a picture-perfect Mother's Day weekend as the sun descends upon Toyota Field here in South Texas. San Antonio FC plays the middle game of a three-game homestand this evening as they welcome in Seattle Sounders FC2. Thanks so much for joining us along with former Major League Soccer defender Lance Ski. I'm Dan Weiss. It's great to have you with us. Well, Lance, San Antonio FC continues their torrid start to begin the season. They've taken points in all 8 matches. They're on a record-setting 5-game winning streak coming into this week. And even though there's a summer's worth of soccer still to be played, how important is it for San Antonio FC to get off to such a great start and build this early cushion as you begin to think about the postseason later down the line?
Incredibly important. You're dealing with the personnel that has a long season to endure, so to be able to get clear 9 points at this stage already from that third place position just enables them so much more freedom in terms of how they manage the season going forward, not only from a player standpoint but also from the staff.
And as we look at the Western Conference standings, we see San Antonio FC continues to lead atop the table. Again, 7 wins, and they've taken points in all 8 matches. They have a 4-point lead over Real Monarchs SLC, who's almost been as good as San Antonio here out of the gate. But you mentioned that 9-point spread between first and third, and 13 points up on the last playoff spot. Almost unthinkable at this point of the season. Sure,
no, it's an incredible place to be. I think, as you mentioned, Real Monarchs SLC and San Antonio really setting the standard and setting the bar, getting out in front of the rest of the group. But obviously that's where the quality is being played right now, and excited to see that tonight. Next man up has been the theme for San Antonio FC this year. Diego Restrepo will make his 4th straight start after coming in a few weeks ago in Vancouver in place of the injured Matt Cardoni, and he's been nothing short of spectacular. Lance, how important is it for the team in front of Diego to know that they've got not only a competent goalkeeper behind them, but a very good one right now in place of Matt? Well, you know, Restrepo is not unseasoned. He's a veteran player. He's had experience in the league. He's a great goalkeeper, and so to be able to step in and to perform as he's done over the last couple of weeks is fantastic, and it just creates so much confidence throughout the team that that's already in place and that they can continue to build off of that foundation from the back going forward.
San Antonio FC will look to the reigning USL Player of the Month, Billy Forbes, behind first ever honor just the other day as San Antonio FC looks to make it 6 straight wins tonight. Starting lineups and our opening kick when we return to Toyota Field after this.
Toyota time means it's time to go places. To go tow something in your new Tundra.
Oh, I will.
Here she comes.
I want to consider renaming it, though.
By what?
Now, during the Toyota Time sales event, qualified lessees can lease a fun and capable new 2017 Special Edition Double Cab Tundra for $369 a month.
Hey, look, I caught some fish.
Toyota, let's go places.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high performing, hard working, high tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
I'm not the type to say any of this mushy garbage. You know what? I'm going for it. You are completely and utterly
Awesome.
I'm glad you showed up. In my life.
I think I'm about to cry.
You better not.
Every single time I
Get down!
you always have
My back. My back.
It's really hard to describe. It's like all these tiny little things.
Yes, yes, things.
Are actually friendship.
Little ideas can turn into big dreams. Big dreams require careful planning and the right partner. A partner dedicated to helping you take care of your employees, protect your business, and plan for the future. It's sometimes overwhelming. It's often exciting. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
Military City, USA is what San Antonio FC is best known for. Tonight, San Antonio FC welcoming in Seattle Sounders FC2 for the first time this season. We turn our attention downstairs to the field for the performance of our anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Another great crowd here this evening at Toyota Field. Middle game of the 3-game homestand. San Antonio FC and Seattle Sounders FC2, and another great night for soccer as far as the conditions go. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's take a look at our starting 11s for both sides, beginning with visiting Seattle Sounders FC2. They'll play a 4-3-3 formation. This is an entirely different roster from what they brought to San Antonio a year ago, and up top they're led by Irvin Parra, who's got 3 goals, including a brace last weekend against Portland. Tyler Miller is the captain of this team. He's also the oldest player on the roster at 24. He's 3-3 in his 6 starts this season. We'll take a look at the starting 11 tonight for San Antonio FC. And for them, it's once again their familiar 4-2-3-1 formation, and the only change for San Antonio tonight from last week against Sacramento is A.J. Ajekwa will start in place of Cesar Elizondo, who is out tonight because of rest. You might remember Cesar left the game in the 41st minute on Saturday against Sacramento, replaced by Ajekwa, who eventually ended up drawing the penalty kick that Rafa Castillo scored on the 64th minute to give San Antonio FC the win. Diego Restrepo is 3-0. He's the reigning USL Player of the Week, coming off back-to-back clean sheets. He's got a 0.59 goals against average and an 84.6% save percentage coming into tonight's match. There's Billy Forbes, the first ever USL Player of the Month. Brand new award for the USL, and I don't think anybody had a better first 5 weeks of the season, Lance, than Billy. 6 goals, go along with 3 assists, and he's the leader in points, 15 atop the USL right now.
Absolutely. He's such a dynamic personality, especially in those wide channels when he picks up the ball and can run at defenders. And I think what you're seeing is his success is coming at the expense of defenders who are really just having a hard time containing him. And if SAFC can continue to do a good job of getting him out in isolation in those areas where he can use his creativity, we're going to continue to see him rack up those types of awards.
It was a landslide for Billy. He won 64% of the vote in taking that award. And as we mentioned, Diego Restrepo also won the USL Player of the Week for his performance against Sacramento on Saturday night. The conditions, as I was mentioning before, for tonight's game, again, it's picture perfect like it was last Saturday, which is always sometimes on Mother's Day weekend in San Antonio. It's not always like that, but you've got 87 is the temperature, light humidity, 30%, and a light breeze coming out of the southeast at about 8-9 miles an hour. Can't ask for better conditions here in mid-May, can you, Lance?
Absolutely not. No, it's a perfect night for it, and I think you're going to see that from the players. You're going to see them really find some joy in the game because of the conditions and the circumstances, the environment. You're going to see that environment extend out into the fans. It's just a great night for it all the way around.
Well, the fans already enjoying themselves here. This again is the middle game of a 3-game homestand here for San Antonio FC, as they will welcome in Phoenix Rising next Saturday night to close out the homestand. There's a look at Rodrigue L. He is one of 8 players tonight for Seattle Sounders FC2 that is under the age of 20. That is correct. 8 players that will feature in this game tonight for Seattle Sounders FC2 that is under the age of 20. This is without question the youngest team across the board that San Antonio FC will see this season. Take a look at our head coaches, and there's a look at Ezra Hendrickson. He's now in his 3rd year. You played against Ezra when he played for the LA Galaxy. Ezra's got a record of 26, 29, and 11 since taking over here in Seattle, and he's got a young group, as we mentioned, to work with here this year.
Absolutely, the definition of youth, isn't it? It's such a young team all the way across the board, but it's also an exciting team, a team that's got a tremendous amount of potential. You'll see a team that really takes it to other teams in terms of the attack and can be very dangerous.
We are underway, along with Lance Skier and entire crew, Dan Weiss from Toyota Field. Second and final meeting of the season between San Antonio FC and Seattle Sounders FC2. San Antonio in their normal home kits, black and white. Seattle in their away kits, white trimmed with green. San Antonio FC beat Seattle back on April 25th at Starfire Stadium in the Pacific Northwest by a score of 3-2. Very opportunistic in that game was San Antonio, as they were badly beaten in a lot of the statistical categories in that game, Lance, particularly possession. Seattle had 67% possession in that game. They had 14 shots. San Antonio, they had 3 goals on 5 shots on target. That is the definition of opportunistic.
Absolutely, and it will be interesting tonight to see how in these early stages the rhythm is determined. Sometimes possession can be a little bit misleading if there's no purpose to it, but obviously in the last matchup, them being able to get 15 attempts on goal says that they do have a purpose, and these early stages I think will determine a lot for us.
San Antonio has never lost to Seattle. They're perfect 3-0 against them, winning twice last year, including a 1-0 win here at Toyota Field on August the 20th, and this is the last time we'll see Seattle this season. There's a look at Darren Powell. Now it's 17-12-9 in his 2nd season managing San Antonio FC. He's got a team that leads the league in wins, points, goals for, and goal differential, among other things. And not only are they doing it on the offensive end, but they're doing it on the defensive end. 5 clean sheets in their first 8 matches. It's really just come together beautifully this season.
Absolutely, and all of those great indicators as to why they're at the top of the table.
Early throw-in for San Antonio FC here in the attacking third of the field. San Antonio FC has scored the first goal in 7 of their first 8 matches this year, and they only did that in 3 of their first 8 matches a year ago. And it's a big reason, playing with the lead, why they've been so successful in the early going. As Cochran loses the ball along the byline there, but we'll get a corner. First of the night will be awarded to San Antonio FC as Francisco Narbonne couldn't settle it, and so there's an early opportunity for San Antonio here as Ben Noonan will come over to take the corner.
Yeah, these set piece opportunities, especially early on, just to your point, being able to create opportunities to get up early. Be interesting to see how they execute. These are executions that come from the practice field.
This is the one area I think if you talk to Darren Powell and the coaching staff, the set pieces, the corners, San Antonio FC would like to improve on. They struggled last week against Sacramento. They had 5 corners in the match and really did nothing with any of them. So the right-footed Ben Noonan comes over to take the first corner of the match, as he'll deliver this one deep to the back post, and already a whistle and a foul in the area, and a goal kick here for Tyler Miller. Center referee is Rosendo Mendoza tonight. His assistants, Jeremy Wheaton, Elton Garcia, and Richard Blackburn is the 4th official. And again, that is Tyler Miller, the captain here for Seattle Sounders FC2, former second-round draft choice of Seattle Sounders of Major League Soccer back in 2015, was a 4-year standout playing at Northwestern and was the backup all season to Stefan Frey, the first team in Seattle. We'll talk a lot tonight about the hierarchy of Seattle Sounders FC and Seattle Sounders FC2, because it's amazing how they integrate their reserve team as well as their academy into what they do with all 3 squads. As Diego Restrepo makes his first touch of the night, and here's not a good sign upfield. That's Billy Forbes right in front of Ezra Hendrickson here. He's a little slow to get up.
Didn't see a whole lot. Maybe it just came down a little bit funny from that that contact, but not a whole lot to that.
Collided there with Denso Ulissi, 18-year-old. He's right along, again, the touchline right in front of Ezra Hendrickson, and obviously that is not a good sign to see Billy down, although you see the thumbs up there from the trainer, and so Billy looks like he'll be able to continue.
Thankfully, nothing more than just a little awkward contact. He's straight back up and ready to go in.
Well, 6 goals, 3 assists, tied for the lead in goals, tied for second in assists. 6 goals on 9 shots on target. All 6 of them have come inside the area for Billy Forbes. Be interesting tonight to see how Billy engages himself in this game, because I thought Sacramento last Saturday did a really nice job of limiting Billy's touches. They didn't allow him to get engaged, and I think it was a big reason, Lance. Sacramento was pushing San Antonio to the middle portion of the field. They didn't let him work out on the flanks, and I wonder if Seattle might do the same here tonight.
Of course, I think anyone that's coming into play.
As there's onside, and Jaquan, then the offside flag goes up.
Anyone that's coming into play here in San Antonio, especially, I think, with the crowd and the environment that they have, don't want to give San Antonio FC anything to get excited about. And obviously, every time the ball touches Billy's feet, there's something to be excited about. So we're going to see lots of that moving forward.
That's a great ball delivered by Tierpak. Ajekwa, though, was clearly offside. Ajekwa was the man of the match last Saturday night for good reason. His foul ended up delivering the PK for Rafa Castillo, but I thought Chris Tierpak last Saturday night was probably the biggest engine for San Antonio FC's counterattack offense, which is their bread and butter here in the first 8 matches of the season. As upfield spilled was Urban Parra, one of the lone returnees for Sounders FC2, as was a good challenge by Ulissi. Billy Forbes and San Antonio FC earns a throw, and his Cochran will quickly race over to take it. And now, that's Urban Parra, who's coming back upfield and a little bit upset. No foul on the play. Cochran trying to slip past Lorenzo Ramos. The Rafa Castillo, San Antonio FC will work to Stephen McCarthy on their side of the pitch. We're early in this one, 7th minute from Toyota Field. San Antonio FC will see as they work their first true possession here of the match. Tierpak working it along the far touchline, and it's taken away and pushed forward.
You can already start to see a little bit of the design in terms of how both teams are trying to build their attack as well as manage their defense. Not going to be easy to get in behind the Seattle back line, but I think there's definitely space to be had in front of him.
That was a nice volley there by Sebastian Ibiaga as he got it over to himself to create a little bit of space. We've seen Sebastian, who's got some pretty good footwork, do that a couple of times here at Toyota Field, and you heard the oohs and ahs. Ibiaga has an interesting sub-story tonight. It's a good ball for Ajekwa into the area, and well defended there coming back by Rodriguez. Be a goal kick for Tyler Miller, but I was going to mention for Ibiaga here as we take a look at the run once again for Ajekwa, and that's L defending him. But Ibiaga has got 4 yellows coming into tonight's match. Ironically, so too does Irvin Parra for Seattle Sounders FC2, and should either accumulate a yellow card tonight, that would be a 1-game suspension for the next match because of accumulation. 5 yellow cards equals an automatic suspension.
Absolutely, and you hate to see it impact the players' approach to the game, but that's certainly in the back of their mind because they don't want to miss the next match. But they also can't allow it to take them out of this match. And you see early on with Seattle as they try to restart from the back, they're really splitting those 2 central defenders wide, pushing those outside backs high up the field, trying to create that central space for possession.
Ajekwa with a run as the ball came over the top. It kind of got caught up a little bit in the wind. Ajekwa had to come back to settle under it and then eventually concedes possession. Now the counter here for Seattle as going upfield, trying to make the run along the near side was Ray Sari, couldn't get to the ball. Actually, it was Irvin Parra trying to make the run over there. San Antonio FC will work in their third of the field once again with the holding midfielder Pekka, who's done such a great job this season. As Matt Barnes called him last week, the engine that really moves San Antonio FC up the field. Doesn't always show up in the stats, Lance, but I mean he's does so many little things out on the pitch.
Yeah, that's the role of the 6, just keeping possession, being able to keep things in front of him and manage the game.
Jake was hit the pitch a few times here early and then run over was Irvin Parra. It'll draw the foul. And Rafa Castillo with a word for our center referee, Rosendo Mendoza. There's a lot of contact there on Ajekwa, and again, that's not the first time he's hit the pitch here in the opening 9 minutes.
And it won't be the last. I think L's a pretty solid defender. He's got no problem getting up the backside of the attacking player. So we're going to see some contact throughout the evening.
Ray Sari will take the free kick here for Seattle Sounders FC2. 22-year-old rookie, played collegiately at Tulsa. 2 assists on the season, and this is Seattle Sounders FC2's first true set piece of the match. As a ball is delivered shallow into the box and headed away from danger there by Stephen McCarthy. It'll result in a throw-in for Seattle Sounders FC2. Quickly taken by Denso Lissi. L trying to go over the top, and another throw-in here for Seattle.
Certainly seeing Seattle commit their numbers forward. With Ezra, a former defender, he always loved to get forward, so not surprised to see that from his team.
Lorenzo Ramos on the ball there along with Pekka. It's a foul on Ramos, who along with Irvin Parra are the only 2 returnees from a Seattle team last year that did not make the postseason in the USL and struggled out of the gate and rebounded a little bit at the end of the season. They really cleaned house from a roster standpoint, and only 1 player not back. That's now at San Antonio FC, and in the 18 tonight for the first time, Mark Ojong was from Cameroon, and it's an interesting connection between Cameroon and Seattle Sounders that we'll talk about a little bit here as Restrepo plays that one away. Quick throw in here for the Sounders. The offside flag is up, and San Antonio FC with the ball.
And you mentioned Ojong. He's a player that I think the staff are really excited to be able to integrate into their side. I think he's got a lot to bring to the table.
Marco Jong played in Cameroon Rainbow FC, which has developed a strategic partnership with Seattle Sounders FC2. They brought over 5 players from that Rainbow FC club, including Rodriguez, who's on the pitch tonight for them, as Billy Forbes can't move around the defender, but does earn himself another corner for San Antonio FC, as Narbo's second time trying to cleared that one away and concedes the corner.
And Billy doing what Billy does well, running at defenders, trying to get into the box and making things happen from there. Good to get a corner out of that.
Ben Noonan will come over to the corner stick here to take San Antonio FC's second corner of the match. Noonan plays this right into the 6 and cleared away from trouble and then lifted along.
Pretty good dangerous delivery there to the near post, forcing the goalkeeper to come. Not a bad ball at all.
Diego Restrepo made a huge save on Sammy Ochoa in the 11th minute last Saturday to keep the game scoreless. Could have easily changed the complexion of the game, and that, of course, enabled San Antonio FC to eventually get the penalty kick that won them the match in the 64th minute. Remember, Restrepo is yet to be really challenged here through the first 13 minutes of play. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 8 p.m. Central on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Check USL Soccer for more details. Tierpak into the box. Settles, plays it along and headed away. As El maneuvered that one out. Cochran back on the ball as he tries to push into the attacking third and concedes possession. Rafa Castillo broke up the pass over the top, but here's Seattle on the counter. Irvin Parra, one of the older veteran players on the roster, as he'll earn a Seattle throw, and he's got 6 years pro experience, but he's only 23 years of age. He actually made his Seattle debut here in San Antonio last August when Sounders 2 came to town. Ramos for Parra, trying to slip it into the box, and it was broken up as he was looking in the direction of David Olsen, who is one of 14 eligible academy players that can play for Seattle Sounders 2 this season. They have a 15-year-old, Azriel Gonzalez, in their 18 tonight. He scored 11 goals playing for the under-16 team last year when he was 14 years old.
Yeah, obviously a great young talent, and this is a great experience for him to be here in this environment and in this type of a match. Whether he gets on tonight or not, it will be a great experience for this young player.
Olsen's actually a product of the academy. He's actually not one of those 14 academy players who theoretically is an amateur playing in a pro man's game. Olsen went to the University of Seattle, but he did come up out of the academy and is really one of their feature players up top along with Irvin Parra. They are without one of their other leading scorers tonight. Seattle is Felix Chankum, who's got 3 goals on the season, including his first ever brace against Colorado Springs a couple of weeks ago. We'll see a lot of Irvin Parra as he'll settle the ball in the midfield here. In the 16th minute, scoreless at Toyota Field as Lorenzo Ramos brings it forward. Delivers a good ball to the top of the 18, and it's headed away by Sebastian Ibiaga. Nice job there by Ray Sari. Slips it to Parra, tried to touch it back for Sari, and that was broken up. And Ajekwa can't gain possession, although Darren Powell thought he had earned himself a foul. And now Ajekwa draws more contact, and the foul will be called on Rodriguez.
And we're going to see that tonight as our SAFC forwards are checking off the back line. You're going to see El really be sometimes even overzealous in those spaces, and I think if SAFC can do a good job of retaining possession in those settings, they're going to be able to find that space in the empty area that he's left.
Rodriguez is a 19-year-old defender who, as we mentioned, played Rainbow FC in Cameroon a year ago, brought over because of that strategic partnership here. Is another foul awarded on Rodriguez, who's not happy with the call. And another free kick for San Antonio FC in a little bit more of a dangerous area, about 22, 23 yards out.
Yeah, not a bad ball in, a little bit high on the entry, but certainly you can see SAFC with some design trying to pull El out of that position centrally.
Left-footed Rafa Castillo, right-footed Ben Noonan here.
Both players definitely have the ability to be dangerous from this position.
Good service from Newnham. Headed to the outside of the 18. And the third corner of the match for San Antonio.
Really a good ball in there from Newnham.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com. That's two good services from Ben Newnham here early in the match. Good sign early for San Antonio FC again. Those set pieces, an area that Darren Powell has been working on here over the last couple of weeks. And now it'll be Rafa Castillo from the far flag. This one is headed by Forbes, directed on, big save, rebound attempt in the 6. Settled down and cleared away from danger. That ball deflected the far post there and was nearly redirected behind Tyler Miller and in.
Really a little bit of an underhit ball, but what a great job to get on the end of it there at the near post and continue it on. You thought surely it was bound for the back of the net, but not today.
Nice header there, great ball from Billy Forbes, and Ajayco nearly put it in, and good job by the keeper, Tyler Miller there.
So now 3 corners inside the first 20 minutes. A pretty dangerous chance there. But
Miller's body was actually fully in the net, but his hands were up over the bar on the ball. That's a great save there from the goalkeeper for Seattle. And really the first good scoring chance for either side. Settled by Sam Rogers, the 17-year-old center back. And a throw in here for Seattle. Rogers wearing number 53. It's another player from the academy who's on an quote-unquote amateur contract. He will turn 18 this week. On Wednesday, he is actually committed to play at Villanova next year. But he has now started in all 9 matches for Seattle Sounders FC2 and wondering whether the NCAA still might be in his future. There's a hurt player for Seattle down on the pitch. That looks like Irvin Parra.
Game definitely a little bit disjointed in this first 20 minutes. Both teams really still trying to establish their rhythm. Here we take another look at that contact.
Ibiaga going upstairs there, contact with the veteran Parra, who seems to be okay. That's a good question. You know, Lance, you coached at Trinity, and if you're committed to go to school and you've appeared in 8 matches, you're logging a ton of minutes here for the USL side. A tough decision for a young kid, whether he continues to pursue the collegiate option or maybe decides he might have a shot playing for the first team sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you know, young players that grow up through the youth game, their goal, their objective, their purpose is to play at the very highest level they can. And so you see him taking advantage of that right now. There's nuances and circumstances that are outside of our knowledge that certainly will lead him to that decision, but you hope he makes the right one for him. But as long as he can play at this level, continue to build his game, it's a valuable experience.
Coaching staff has had nothing but great praise for Rogers as Ajayco will earn a foul. And Seattle Sounders FC2 is already not thrilled here with the center referee tonight, Rosendo Mendoza, although Ajayco he's been earning these free kicks here with this good possession here early in the match.
Well, they've done a good job of trying to find his feet in this final third of the field, and as we said, the young Seattle side with a little bit of overzealousness sometimes coming in a little bit late or even a little bit early, and just Ajayco doing a great job of winning free kicks out of it. Another dangerous set piece opportunity here.
Ben Newnham delivered a good ball here just moments ago. We'll see whether this is Newnham again. Rafa Castillo will tend to take more of these that are straight away or from the opposite side of the field, but let's see.
I'd imagine you're going to see one on frame.
Newnham short into the box. Newnham settles. It's under it. Seattle will head it out of play, and another corner for San Antonio FC, their 4th of the night. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the league's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com and following them on Twitter at USL. Newnham again, this time on the 4th corner of the match for San Antonio. Good in-swing delivery as he goes very deep here. Settled by Ibiaga, who's looking in the direction of Ajekwa, and flushed out of there.
I think that one hung on him a little bit. Obviously, the last few balls you've seen entering into the near post area, that one trying to clip it to the far post, it just hung up a little bit too long.
Noonan will come over to take the throw in here. Now possession is mightily favored San Antonio FC here over the last few minutes. Trying to get that all-important first goal of the match. Ajekwa challenged by the far stick, and we'll earn another throw-in. Tierpak. Settled by Rodriguez and cleared out of there by Seattle. Not much counter, though, from Sounders here early. Ibiaga stretches one in, and Miller climbs the ladder to bring that one down.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time, I think, getting in over the top like that. They're going to have to exercise a little more patience and try to connect through the middle, back out into those wide channels in the final 25 yards in order to be able to generate some crosses into the box.
Ramos, nice ball. Olsen outside of the box, slips it in, and nice job by Greg Cochran getting back. But this will be Seattle's first corner of the evening.
It's a good sequence from Seattle, finding feet, being able to connect up the field there, forcing a ball over the end line from Cochran.
Well, the best way to get some confidence going, string a few passes together, and that's exactly what Seattle did in that sequence.
A few passes together, ending up in an opportunity to serve a free ball in here.
Sorry, plays one very deep. Restrepo, the one-handed grab outside the 6-yard box to bring that one down. Pretty nice.
A little bit of athleticism there. Both teams really lacking a little bit in the quality of that delivery on these corners and set pieces. These are great opportunities to score goals in these tightly contested matches. Set pieces are such a big part of the difference in those matches.
4 early for San Antonio, and that was Seattle's first here. Well, on the touchline, and a throw-in for Seattle here in the 25th minute.
And you can see Seattle setting up with their back four, with the 2 players sitting right in front of that four, really with the idea to try to swing it out from one side to the other. But San Antonio have done a great job of not allowing the ball back central and allowing them to play out at the other side.
How much does it help when you've seen the same formation from a team now in back-to-back games? Seattle played that 4-3-3 a couple of weeks ago up in Washington.
Well, they're playing, the way they're playing these 2 central midfielders, it's almost a 4-2-3-1, so they're pushing 3 attacking midfielders, 2 in the wide space, and then 1 underneath the forward as they start to build. And then you see as the game evolves, that second player is shifting in alongside to create a 2-forward look. But to your point, obviously being able to recognize and see those tendencies, that plays into the game.
Tierpak was making a good run, but concedes possession. David Olsen slips through a crowd, and he's got a little bit of daylight as he works into the outside. Shandon Hopedo. Para strikes one wide as he was going for goal.
Pretty harmless in the end. Both teams really doing a pretty good job of concentrating centrally, containing, and forcing things from distance, which really aren't going to be too harmful.
You can definitely see as they're in form in the middle, more of that 4-2-3-1 that San Antonio FC likes to play through the midfield as well. And those 2 kind of central midfielders, Ray Sari and Francisco Narbone, 88 and 77 respectively, that are kind of patrolling things here as San Antonio FC tries to push through the midfield.
That's absolutely true. And San Antonio FC are going to want to try to draw them out and pull them into different spaces and get that relationship challenged so that they can find those little entry passes into the feet of Ajekwa and also Rafa Castillo.
Billy Forbes Castillo shrugs off the defender to the outside. Cochran. Ooh, looked like it very dangerously almost hit the hand of a defender, and then it slipped out of play by A.J. Ajekwa. It was very close to going off Denso Lissi.
And the benefit of being able to get an outside back forward like Cochran likes to do, when the game seems to be a little bit stagnant in that final third, the incorporation of that outside back getting forward adds such another dimension of creativity to be able to get balls into the box.
Fans, stay up to date with the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays, 8 p.m. Central on Sirius XM-FC, Channel 85. Don't forget Sirius XM-FC. They're the USL Game of the Week. Check USL Soccer for dates and times. Billy Forbes over the top here as he takes the ball from Castillo. Forbes gives it a go, but well over goal. San Antonio FC is trying to catch the Seattle defense, pushing a little too forward here. They've gone over the top a couple of times. Ajekwa, now Billy Forbes trying to find that open seam.
And that's what happens when you start to play underneath that back line. They start to step higher with that line, which creates the space in behind. And so good decisions there from San Antonio FC to try to create opportunities in the space that's given.
That's sometimes why San Antonio FC is willing to concede a little bit of possession, to play back, to allow to push players underneath the defense to get back for those types of scoring chances and opportunities. We've seen that a lot from San Antonio FC in the first 8 matches of the year.
Absolutely right, and you've got such dangerous, creative players in the attack for SAFC. They're going to try to create the space they want, but they're also going to be able to do something with the space they're given.
Parra is able to keep the ball in play. Castillo will fend off Lorenzo Ramos. Cochran. Ajekwa. Good touch. Pekka gives it off Billy's right foot. And well played there by Seattle as they'll clear it away.
And a little bit vertical in the shape there from SAFC. Did a great job. Ajekwa pulled L out, created a lot of space on that weak side, but we just weren't able to change the point.
So much a chess match at times, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Cochran. And the throw in, Billy Forbes couldn't settle. And Seattle on the counter here. Sorry, through the middle. And Michael Reed all over him. Sorry. Was able to play towards Irvin Parra, and Cochran got in front. And a throw in deep. And a yellow is going to be handed out to Michael Reed. First yellow card of the match. They'll bring a free kick back here, so Michael Reed will pick up the yellow card here in the 30th minute. That's his first card of the season.
Yeah, really a pretty good job from Reed there as Sorry tried to break away, just containing him, keeping him tight and close, and really forcing him to play a ball that he didn't want to play. But the referee saw a little bit too much contact.
I think Michael Reed, who once again wears the armband as the captain for San Antonio FC, his argument is that there's been so much contact on the Seattle Sounders third of the field too, that if that's a yellow, there could have been 4 or 5 examples of a yellow earlier in the match.
Sure, and that's always the case. Every player that receives a caution is always going to point to past.
Well, the third set piece of the match here for Seattle. Sorry, over the ball will take this. Good delivery into the box. McCarthy climbed the ladder, and a foul on Seattle will turn the ball over to San Antonio FC.
It's interesting, that's getting close to 10 times now in the first half an hour of the match where we've seen free service, free entry service into the box, and really not a whole lot to speak of.
Brian Nanasinkum on that left fullback side. He won 2 national championships playing at Stanford. He was Seattle's first round pick, 22nd overall in this past MLS Super Draft, wearing number 34. Noonan up the right flank as he works back here with Pekka. Touched by Ajekwa to Pekka, and back to AJ Ajekwa outside the 18. Service for Tierpak. Tierpak fires and just wide.
And so you see now, for those young players out there watching the game, you see these combinations now into that final third and what's being able to be created out of those. Such good movement off the ball, dragging players, finding quick succession of touches, and those 1 and 2 touch combinations. Those are the types of things that get you into those dangerous areas of the field.
The USL, one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the great games, top talent, and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com and following them on Twitter at USL. Rafa Castillo able to win the ball away from Ray Sari, although Sari gets back in between Castillo and Pekka and earns himself a free kick.
Get another one.
Has the lack of success on the set pieces disrupted the flow of the match here in the first 30 minutes of the game?
I don't know if the lack of success has necessarily disrupted the flow. I think
the multitude?
Yeah, I mean, certainly you're looking at lots of stoppages, but I also think neither team has really found their own rhythm within the run of play. And I think so until you see that, you know, the game is going to continue to feel very disjointed, as we've seen.
Sari delivers one. Good ball headed down, but wide.
What we've seen is a few moments, a few sequences from both teams with really some quite good combination play and movement off the ball to get into the final third. Just not a whole lot of productivity off the end of that.
That was Sam Rogers, the center back, creeping forward. We talked about him, the 17-year-old center back for Seattle Sounders FC2.
See SAFC here trying to stretch the game.
Stephen McCarthy to Michael Reed, who was assessed a yellow card in the 30th minute. First yellow of the season. Ibiaga now. And slip one past Narbonne, played last season with FC Cincinnati.
Good play from Pekka there, just to step in and win the ball.
Forbes. And they had two players on top of him immediately as Billy settled down to the ball.
A good step there from McCarthy to regain possession, settle things down. SAFC trying to establish some possession and rhythm here.
Newnham turns back to the outside, and for Tierpak now. Seats watched there by Shandon Kopiao.
And you're seeing these little pockets open up. Really, it's going to have to go for SAFC. It's going to have to go central in the middle third and then regain its width in the final third, and I think in order for them to see some success. But there are these little pockets between the two lines of four of Seattle where if they can get the ball in on the floor and get some of that quality entry service, they're going to be able to build from there. But Seattle doing a pretty good job of really not allowing SAFC any dangerous possession.
San Antonio FC will be awarded the ball. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com. Newnham making the run for the ball. Shrug off the defender and can't win possession. Kept alive as Reed. Play to the flank for Cochran. Billy Forbes now. Again, two players watching him. Reed was looking in Castillo's direction but couldn't send that ball through. It was opportunity for Seattle on the counter. They haven't had much here in this first half. And Sari is able to work away from the challenge, but he lost it behind him. And then Castillo will let it play on. Billy Forbes making the run outside the box and stripped as he crossed over the 18-yard line.
It was a good tackle from Narbonne there to save Billy that possession going into the final 18 yards.
And there was one instance where San Antonio FC might have been looking for the foul on Rafa Castillo here, as you'll see, but referee said play on.
Absolutely. Well, I think it was the right decision from the referee. The ball into Billy's feet with some space in front of him. Obviously an offensive advantage in that, so he let it run free.
This is Denso Lissi, who's down on the pitch here now for Seattle in the 37th minute.
So we've started to see a little bit from SAFC both Newnham and Cochran trying to find their times to get forward in those wide channels. And you're starting to see SAFC be able to build off of that and create a little bit of momentum and create a little bit of danger in possession. And that's good to see. And I think those elements are going to be what you need to see if you're SAFC to really create some of those dangerous chances that are going to be goal-scoring opportunities.
Well, Denso Lissi was down on the pitch, and then as soon as he got up, he was handed a yellow card in the 37th minute. That's his second yellow of the season.
Might have been a little bit of gamesmanship to be down in the first place, thinking he might be able to ride that one out.
Well, he's staying off the pitch right now. And now knocking it over before he'll come back in. If you're Seattle, 37 minutes, you start to see a little holes and breakdowns defensively. Can you continue to play this way, do you think, through the 90 minutes tonight?
I think so. As we mentioned at the top of the show, it's a pretty young side, so there's going to be some of those mistakes. There's going to be some of those deficiencies. You talked about having really a new roster, so there's some complexities there between players not accustomed to playing alongside each other. So you're going to see some of those breakdowns. I think what they've done thus far really has been pretty good and fairly effective in terms of defending and not allowing SAFC in behind really, and then trying to secure something off the counter.
It'll be the patience for SAFC that'll hopefully pay off in the end, getting into that final third and eventually breaking through.
Exactly right. And you've already seen a few times for SAFC in the final third where they just haven't exercised the patience necessary.
Throw in for San Antonio FC is Ben Newnham. Couldn't keep it alive. It's interesting. Look at the passing accuracy. San Antonio FC, it was at 82% they just showed a moment ago. Seattle only at 61% in the match. Tierpak receiving pressure here now as it's worked over in Michael Reed's direction.
You see that space there opening up centrally as SAFC are pushing 4 against that back line. There's just so much space to play underneath.
Cochran. Castillo over the top. Forbes on side here as San Antonio FC pushes forward into the attacking third. Billy gets through the defense into the box. Reed into section 116.
Late in the half, final 5 minutes. These are the types of things that happen. SAFC created a great chance there. Great little bit of 1v1 skill from Billy on the corner there. A little bit in behind Ajekwa, as we're going to see here. Great 1v1.
Yeah, he left the 19-year-old Ulysses in the dust a bit there with that piece of footwork. Ramos. Olsen. And Ibiaga with the clearance. Ryan Nanasinkum will track this one down, and he'll let it go for the throw-in. Final 5 minutes of the first half, plus any additional stoppage time to be added. Opiao to the outside. He's looking to go over the top to Parra, and it was broken up. Pekka will return it to McCarthy. Cochran. Ajekwa in the neighborhood, but Rodriguez to it first. And a foul on Ajekwa and a free kick to Seattle.
I think they're going to call a deflection there, which I didn't see.
Yeah, that'll be a throw-in. McCarthy gets under this one as he pushes forward. And now the foul on Ajekwa.
You see Parra picking up that pressure from behind. Both Parra and Ajekwa really having to work for everything they get tonight, playing in amongst two strong central defenders. Really not a whole lot of joy, not a whole lot of space for them. and are really having to earn everything.
That was Ulisi, by the way, who was down again and got up a little bit quicker this time. Can Seattle get one here in the last couple of minutes? Not a lot of possession for them in the final third in San Antonio FC's end of the field. We just saw the possession, 66% for San Antonio FC here in this first half.
Which is quite the difference from their last meeting.
Turnovers, Castillo. San Antonio FC has got some numbers upfield. Tierpak, delivery ahead was broken up. Castillo over the top to Forbes, onside, into the box. Billy, great save as Miller keeps this one out. And then another foul on San Antonio FC, and a very animated Rafa Castillo.
I'm not used to seeing that often from Rafa. But SAFC really a great job of catching the back line of Seattle a little bit out of organization, out of order. Billy, a pretty good first touch there, tried to get it down as quickly as he could. It really just held up a little bit on him, so he wasn't able to get over the top of it, but created something pretty dangerous anyway.
It's San Antonio FC's second shot on target. They are out shooting Seattle overall for the match 6-2. And Seattle has had nothing on target so far in this first half.
I think it was a total of 6 shots that SAFC had in the entire 90 minutes last time they faced.
This is almost, if you're Seattle, the prototypical road match. Surviving for 1 point, it seems like, here in the first half.
Yeah, again, I think Ezra bringing a young team into SAFC's home field, you know that you're going to have to work for it. You know, you've got one of the top teams in the league right now in the early stages. You're going to have to go in and really work and be disciplined, and that starts with keeping a clean sheet, not giving too much away in your back third. I think they've given up 6 shots, but they've actually done a fairly good job of limiting those and limiting the quality of the ones that have been taken.
A throw in for San Antonio FC as we wait to see what stoppage time will be added here at the end of the first half. But really, you're right, you've got 2 quality chances. Billy Forbes just a moment ago, and then it was the Forbes redirection on the header earlier in the half that Ajekwa got on target that Miller made another good save on too. McCarthy. This is Ibiaga. Into the outside, Newnham. Touched him, Pekka. 3 minutes stoppage time will be added. Tierpak, challenge from Seattle and play on.
That last sequence from SAFC really being able to keep the ball and stretch out the Seattle defensive unit. Really a demonstration of what sustained possession over the course of a half can do. Now I think it's been a little bit disjointed still, as we've seen some thus far this season. However, SA really have dictated the rhythm of the game.
Hopi out.
I'll recover. And as a result of dictating the rhythm of the game, you're starting to see Seattle start to lose shape.
Another card handed out here. This will be Ben Newnham, I believe, who will pick up the card in stoppage time. Third yellow of the season. That's 3 cards handed out here in the first half, 2 against San Antonio FC. A hard challenge by Newnham, but I'm not necessarily so sure if that was deserving of a card at this stage.
I think if we continue at this pace, there will be none left for Mother's Day.
The line of the match so far. Meanwhile, here's an opportunity for Seattle. They haven't had a lot to work with in the first half in the attacking third of the field, but you get a set piece in stoppage time, and they're really just looking for a potential opening and a mistake here to maybe get one past Diego Restrepo.
Yeah, late in the match, stoppage time against the run of play, really.
Forbes got a piece of it. As it comes across the pitch and settled, and now here's San Antonio FC on the counter. Tierpak floats one over the top. Ajekwa couldn't settle it cleanly, otherwise he would have had a great opportunity to go for goal. Cochran now delivers. Tierpak upstairs. Miller comes down with it.
Nice and safe for Miller. But SAFC, just seeing them time and time again over the course of the season thus far, be so dangerous in the counter.
This is a great ball initially for AJ Ajekwa. If he could have settled it, and that was what eventually ended up into Tyler Miller's welcoming grasp. It's a scoreless game, but it's a pretty dominant first half for San Antonio FC, isn't it?
It really is. I think, you know, again, you're dealing with a little bit more of a veteran side. You're dealing with them at home. Points in every match thus far. There's a tremendous amount of confidence, and I think we're seeing that play out. But to Seattle's credit, they seem to be determined to stick to the way they're playing. They're looking for opportunities to create dangerous set-piece chances, and that's exactly what they've been able to do, as I said earlier, against the run of play.
Well, they'll learn their second corner of the match here with just really seconds remaining in stoppage time. Likely to be the last sequence of the half. Sorry, plays it short, headed away, and that will do it for the opening half at Toyota Field. San Antonio FC dominates the possession. They dominate the scoring chances, but they come up empty so far in this one as we are scoreless through the first 45 minutes of play. We'll take a break. More to come from Toyota Field after this, and Lance and I will be back with first half highlights and numbers when we return. But after one half of the book, San Antonio FC, Seattle Sounders FC2 are scoreless.
When did you guys make all of this?
Well, we picked up HEB's Asian stir-fry kits.
They come with the sauce and pre-cut veggies. No chopping.
So we used the extra time to master the ancient art of origami.
My frog has serious hops, man, and Patty made an alligator.
Crocodile.
Kawhi, what is that?
It's a snowball.
That's a pretty good snowball, Kawhi.
Yeah, I know.
It's no crocodile.
HEB Asian stir-fry kits in a variety of unique flavors.
What if miracles were the norm, not the exception? What if the biggest discoveries were focused on the smallest? What if we made life not so fragile? 15 years ago, we built a hospital dedicated to children. We knew by always asking, what if, we could discover what's next. It's why more parents have trusted Methodist with their children's care for 50 years. Methodist Healthcare.
Welcome to Corner Store. How can we help?
Birthday party. Hungry kids need food.
Are you baking a cake? We've got milk and eggs.
There's no time. Do you have hot dogs?
On the grill and in the pack.
Chips?
All kinds.
Ice cream?
Loads of flavors.
Drinks?
Hundreds of choices.
Okay,
Yeah. Wait, wine?
Yeah, that's for me. Thanks so much!
Corner Store has over 50 icy cold drinks for just 99 cents. From energy and sport to tea and soda. More than Valero, we're Corner Store.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
We built the USL into the largest Division II professional soccer league in the world. And now the time has come to announce USL Division III, America's professional third division league, completing the U.S. pro soccer landscape. It's time for your town, your team, your game. D3 will fuel local pride and local passion, creating a new legacy for the beautiful game and inspiring its tribal following across the country. This is professional soccer, built on a disciplined financial model and operational excellence, featuring exciting venues to thrill fans, in hungry new markets yearning for the game. USL Division III, professional, passionate, proven. Pro soccer starts here, coming in 2019. For more information, visit usld3.com.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high performing, hard working, high tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
Every mile is a possibility, a chance for victory, and financial success. Every mile is an opportunity to get closer, or much, much farther away. Every mile counts, and high-quality gasolines from Valero clean and keep your engine working its best through all of them. Valero.
I'm not the type to say any of this mushy garbage. You know what? I'm going for it. You are completely and utterly
Awesome.
I'm glad you showed up. In my life.
I think I'm about to cry. You better not.
Every single time I get down, you always have my back. It's really hard to describe. It's like all these tiny little things. Yes, things are actually friendship.
Little ideas can turn into big dreams. Big dreams require careful planning and the right partner. A partner dedicated to helping you take care of your employees, protect your business, and plan for the future. It's sometimes overwhelming. It's often exciting. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.
What if miracles were the norm, not the exception? What if the biggest discoveries were focused on the smallest? What if we made life not so fragile? 15 years ago, we built a hospital dedicated to children. We knew by always asking, what if, we could discover what's next. It's why more parents have trusted Methodist with their children's care for 50 years. Methodist Healthcare.
All right, so the name of this game is Two Touch. Come on, say it in Spanish, bro. Pecho pie, pecho pie. Two touch, chest and leg, chest and foot only.
No head, no thighs, only from the waist up, neck down.
First to 3 wins.
Friendly serve, friendly serve.
Ooh, 1-0. Don't say that word.
Considering I play this game every day, a little disappointed, but no, he hit my left foot. Frick, that's the weakness right there, but that was a good game. Good win for Chinny.
To tell the truth, I think I got lucky. Nino's the boss of this, so big off Nino, big off him.
So I'm cruising here in my new Camry. You know, just following the nav's predictive traffic. That's when I saw smoke coming from the pet store. I called 911 on the Bluetooth and began the rescue. The owner gave me this as a reward. His name is Senor Bandito.
Wait, you got a new Camry?
The 2017 Camry with sporty looks and the latest tech. It'll surprise a few people. Toyota, let's go places.
When did we get a farmer's market?
It's just a fun way to show off fruits and veggies from our home countries.
Like delicious tailored golden pears from Spain. Or beautiful corn from Hondo, Texas.
I have California plum cots. They breed plums with apricots.
Only in California, am I right? What's that?
Gâteau Napoléon avec des fraises de Poty.
Excuse me?
Oh, that's petite strawberry shortcake.
That's not what I said?
H-E-B, fresh produce from Texas and around the world.
When it needs to be ultra exciting, high flying, non-stop action, San Antonio FC Soccer's got you covered. When it needs to be high performing, hard working, high tech, super safe, built for comfort, and surprisingly affordable, Holt Cat has got you covered. With best-in-class cat heavy equipment, engines, generators, and more, plus legendary service and support, and the largest parts inventory and distribution network in Texas. Kick it into high gear with Holt Cat.
Every mile is a possibility, a chance for victory, and financial success. Every mile is an opportunity to get closer, or much, much farther away. Every mile counts, and high-quality gasolines from Valero clean and keep your engine working its best through all of them. Valero.
That's Mission City Firm. They banged the drum in the first half, they banged the drum in the second half, and they definitely banged the drum at halftime, regardless of the score. We're scoreless at Toyota Field here after 45 minutes of play. Thanks so much for joining us again, along with Lance Key. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us here from Toyota Field on this Saturday night. San Antonio FC, Seattle Sounders FC2 meeting for the final time this year. Lance, no score in the match so far, but if you're Darren Powell, you have to like what you've seen from your group as the first half progressed. That patience that San Antonio FC displayed started to pay off a little bit as the end of the first half kind of tailed off there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think over the course of the game, they were able to establish some rhythm and possession
and that started to see some benefit as the game wore on. They did a great job of getting the two outside backs forward and really starting to create some chances through some crosses into the box, which I think really is the way that either team is going to open this game up. But SAFC obviously doing much more of that.
And for Seattle, some close calls, but they're able to get a clean sheet at least through the first half of the match.
I think with the way the first half played out, for them to get out 0-0, to be able to go into the locker room and regroup and recover, they've done a pretty decent job of sticking to their game plan. They're not really giving SAFC a whole lot in terms of the build-up. And thus far, they've gotten the result they wanted, I believe, which is just to not to be down.
Let's take a look at our first half highlights. Neither team found goal, but we're close a couple of times for San Antonio FC, including this corner service from Rafa Castillo that was redirected by Billy Forbes, and AJ Ajekwu denied by the keeper. A couple more chances for San Antonio FC. You know, they really were able to break a couple of times into the box, Lance, and came close a few times.
Absolutely, you're seeing here from Billy, but most of these balls, most of these opportunities are coming from getting in around the outside and not really penetrating through those central spaces, and I think that's what's going to break the game open.
Let's look at our first halftime numbers here. Possession, I think, really stands out because the last time these two teams played in Washington, Seattle had 67% possession for the match. Now you see 63% possession for San Antonio.
Yeah, almost a reversal, and obviously the amount of possession and the efficiency within the possession we saw up near 80% for SAFC versus the mid-60s for Seattle. Obviously just being able to sustain that rhythm, I think that will start to pay off for SAFC as the game goes on as well.
Of their 8 shots, 7 of them came inside the box. So, I mean, you know, they're not trying from outside. They're breaking through the middle, they're breaking into the area, and they've got opportunities. And again, it's kind of that patience that you're hoping for will eventually pay off for Darren Powell and his club, because it's tough to complain when things have been going so well for San Antonio FC. You know, unbeaten in 8 to start the season, wins in 5 straight. I mean, everything's going their way. And this is really now for the second week in a row, a little bit of adversity creeping in the final third of the field where they're not able to finish, where they were able to finish almost at will, you know, through the first 5 weeks of the season.
I think what the SAFC staff is going to look at here at halftime is speak to their team about the urgency, especially in the final third, even in the attacking half of the field, just a little bit more urgency to try to capitalize on being able to misshape Seattle's defensive unit. And they haven't really been able to hit that and hit those spaces with that level of urgency and with that quickness that I think is going to give them the best opportunities in the final 18 yards of the field. So if they can implement that sense of urgency, I think that's going to be something that's really going to play to the advantage of SAFC. And as the game wears on, really the pressure is on Seattle because they're trying to sustain and they're having to endure a tremendous amount of pressure with SAFC's possession, and so more likely to have some breakdowns here and there. Can SAFC capitalize on that?
We'll see what happens in the second half as we're set to go. San Antonio FC will have the ball to begin the half again tonight in their home kits, black and white. Seattle FC in their road kits, white trimmed in green. San Antonio FC already with a record 5 consecutive wins, trying to build upon that before Phoenix comes to town to close out the homestand next Saturday night, which will be the first of our 6 telecasts on Fox Sports Southwest this season. As we're underway here in the second half, along with Lance Key, our entire crew, Dan Weiss from Toyota Field, we'll see how the chess match continues along here in the second half. And will that urgency for San Antonio FC be evident in the first couple of minutes here of the second half too?
Being very deliberate about the defensive organization there.
Throw in here for Seattle on the attack. Ryan Nanasinkum.
Bright young player there at left back for Seattle.
He's played left back, he's played right back.
Can play anywhere along the back line, absolutely.
Olsen conceded possession there, stepped into a challenge on Ibiaga. Ibiaga was able to deliver it forward. The interception here by Sounders.
Everybody had their arm forward, but it'll be a San Antonio FC throw-in. Noonan fortunate to have possession of that. It was off his shin. But we play.
Greg Cochran, him and Sebastian Ipiaga have played all 720 minutes of the season coming into tonight's match. Cochran only missed 69 minutes all of last year. San Antonio FC is getting close to having another center back at their disposal, and Cyprian Hedrick, who was injured in the first match of the season at Rio Grande Valley. And that will be a huge addition to a back line that already has been nearly impenetrable through the first 8 matches of the year.
Yeah, having depth there is really important. Be great to have him back.
Off of Noonan this time, clearly, and throw in for Seattle Sounders FC too. Again, 3 cards were handed out in the first half, and again, Sebastian Ipiaga and Irvin Parra for Seattle Sounders FC2 both come into tonight's match. 4 yellows on the season. Castillo with a foul here. Quickly up was Ray Sorry to play on. Ulissi, who got one of those 3 yellows in the first half for, well, unsportsmanlike conduct, I guess. Narbonne loses possession. Pekka will switch ends here as he gives to Ipiaga. San Antonio going up that far flank with Castillo. Back to Pekka. A little opening here on the near side with Noonan if Pekka can get it to him, and he can. They come back for the ball, though.
Good job from Pekka to get out of that space on the left-hand side and bring it across.
Hey, back at it. Pekka, he's got footsteps behind him, and he got it through. Tierpak. Good ball to the outside, and the flag goes up a little late.
In the end, though, not bad there. Ajekwa did a good job of coming off the back line, receiving possession, and then being able to keep it through Tierpak, and then Noonan getting around the right-hand side to try to get that service in. Just a little bit poor timing in that, but overall, you like to see the build-up.
Trying to break down that back four, banks of 4 where Seattle's trying to collapse, particularly once San Antonio gets into the attacking third there.
And that's exactly where San Antonio is going to have to be able to exploit space, create numbers advantage in those areas, and then combine to get into the final 18 yards of the field and try to get those services across the face of goal.
Ipiaga wins the ball, settled by Narbonne. Parra tripped up by Reed, but we play on. A little bit of embellishment there from Parra. Castillo stops on a dime and goes to Noonan. Touch by Ajekwa to Tierpak, and a little bit of miscommunication there.
It's a decent bit of space in behind their right-hand side. Billy is trying to get into that, but Rafa just couldn't get the ball off his feet enough to be able to get that service in. But in the end, did a good job of exercising some patience and keeping the ball.
Parra was tugged by Ipiaga. A free kick here for Seattle.
So you'll see really the way both teams are aligned. The 3 attacking players, the 2 wide on either side, and the central player really aren't, they're running out of space. And so the teams are going to have to be able to get that possession in underneath that back line, and that's where they're going to build, I think, is being able to get that possession and then try to find those wide areas.
There's a hard challenge from Hopiau on Pekka, who's down. Tierpak, by the way, lost that patented headband in the previous play where he simply took the ball away from the rookie Brian Nanasinkum. Wait for Stephen McCarthy to tie his shoes. We tell you, fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast. Mike Watts, Mondays at 8 Central on SiriusXM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget SiriusXM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Go to USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
That's what FCFC would like to see there. Being able to get Pekka turned and looking upfield to connect forward into that midfield space where there is opportunity to play.
That's the first time they looked in Billy Forbes' direction this half. Almost now 6 minutes into the half. Seattle breaks through a little bit here, and an onside Olsen running forward, but the ball couldn't be delivered. And now the other way onside. Into the box, slipped in the direction of a Jaquan, but knocked down back to Billy Forbes. And just outstretched on Castillo, delivered wide of goal by Michael Reed.
Wow, two very, very dangerous chances there, both coming off the foot of Billy Forbes. Great vision as he got in behind on that outside to try to thread that ball across. And that's really well taken, just slightly off frame.
Now it's Michael Reed, the captain, reaffixing his footwear. Reed was a part of a championship team in Minnesota in the NASL a couple of years ago. He's got a goal this year, now in his 6th season, 29 years of age. He is a great player to wear the armband for your club.
Yeah, he's a fantastic leader, steady as can be, tends to find himself in the right part of the field. Good organizer, really what you want wearing your armband.
Possession Seattle here in the attacking third. Anna Sinkum on the throw-in. Tierpak stepped right in front of Lorenzo, or was it Hopia? It was Hopia to knock it away, and then it's Olsen on the foul. 53rd minute. About to cross into the 54th. Pekka delivers one to the outside. Billy Forbes will settle under it. The ball behind him. Narbonne, deep ball over the head of Hopiau. Shandon Hopiau, interesting story here. He is a homegrown player for Seattle, only because the Sounders last year were able to declare the state of Hawaii as part of their homegrown territory. And so Hopiau is the first ever Hawaii player to sign a homegrown contract for Seattle Sounders.
As you would imagine, Hawaii to Seattle.
Yeah. Although I wonder what Portland thought about that, along with LA. There's a nice move to the outside. And running room here for Para, slipping one. It'll come across to Hopiau in the area. Hopiau tries to give it a strike. It was blocked, and then Hopiau is pushed down in the box. And Ezra Hendrickson had both arms up looking for the penalty against San Antonio FC. And then Tierpak ain't gotten away with a handball there through the midfield. First really dangerous opportunity, though, for Seattle in this game. Right. And now the counter for San Antonio. Michael Reed. Tierpak with a touch. Ajekwa slips it calmly on goal. There's that run for Hopiau, and get much on it. What we didn't see there was the contact, of course, and what Ezra Hendrickson wanted was the foul inside the area.
Yeah, I think there was a little contact, but probably more embellishment than contact. Probably right not to call anything there.
Ironically, it was about the same time, 10 minutes sooner, where San Antonio FC had the penalty kick last week against Sacramento Republic with some contact in the box against AJ Ajekwa that gave them the opportunity to get the lone goal of the match. Ray Sorry. Rodriguez turns possession over, but he's able to wisely get back in front of the pass to break it up that was sending Rafa Castillo off to the races. And once again, here's Hopiau.
We like to look at possession, and we like to look at how dangerous teams are going forward, but I think you've got to right now take a look at what SAFC is doing defensively, and there really is just nowhere for Seattle to be able to possess with any kind of purpose going forward at the moment.
Rafa Castillo. Michael Reed. Here's Pekka. Slips one to Tierpak. Inside the 18. Tierpak. Then on his left foot as he Put another one on target there.
That's about the 5th or 6th time thus far this half where Pekka's been able to get possession of the ball with his head up going forward, which is where he's comfortable, but really didn't see a lot of that in the first half.
And you see him with his hands, he's directing as he has the ball in possession. Just love out of central midfielder there. Nanasinkum on the flank. Splits it inside off Olsen. And there was nobody on the outside. Billy Forbes. He ran into the defender. The ball will come back to Irvin Parro, stayed onside. Hopiau now. Narbonne. Here's Sari. Footsteps behind him from Ajekwa. Sari eludes him. Ulisi to the outside. Ulisi into the box. Delivered back here by Ramos to Ulisi. And put it on goal, but not much danger there for Restrepo.
Pretty good first entry ball in to feet, where they had possession, and then just sent it back out and really didn't get anything out of it.
And our first substitution of the match, Devin Vega is going to come on here in the 58th minute as he will take out Michael Reed. This is Devin Vega's 6th appearance of the season, and might as well at a night when you are playing a team that has pretty much half their roster under the age of 20, you put in your own 18-year-old in Devin Vega.
Yeah, he's a bright young player. He's exciting to watch. It'll be interesting to see what he does here, to see if he can get any space to run at their back line, because that's where he's so good, is running at players.
I think Darren Powell senses he needs a little finish here in this second half right now. That's Devin Vega. You hope to get from him 7 goals in the FC Dallas Academy a year ago.
And you can already see him finding that little bit of real estate in between the 2 blocks of 4 of Seattle. Very intentional about that.
It was Vega's first pro goal in Seattle a few weeks ago, where he undressed the defender and put it into the back of the net behind Tyler Miller, that finished off what was the middle game of San Antonio FC's 3-game trip to Cascadia.
And that was the week after his debut, where he drew the penalty here that Rafa Castillo converted. There's a lot of promise in him.
Again, just 18 years of age, Devin Vega from San Antonio, signing his first pro contract. Set piece for San Antonio FC as Ben Newnham's over the ball along with Rafa Castillo. Newnham. Deep ball headed down by Ibiaga, but right to Tyler Miller.
Not a bad idea. I like to see that get back across the face of goal from Ibiaga, who subsequently just picked up the captain's armband as Reed's come off.
Quick counter here for Seattle. Hopiau. Pekka will ride him out by the stick. And a goal kick awarded to Diego Restrepo. Pekka's slow to get up there in the corner.
He's nearly out of the stadium.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and following them on Twitter @USL. We are through the first hour of the match. It's been all San Antonio for the most part, and for the second time in his pro career, for the second time against San Antonio, we will see the 15-year-old Azriel Gonzalez, who will come on for Shandon Hopiau in the 61st minute. Azriel Gonzalez, he is 15 years old. He will turn 16 on May 26th.
What a fantastic experience for this young player.
This is his 3rd appearance this season. He's from Las Vegas. He has been in the Sounders Academy for the past 4 years. He gets his first touch on the ball. But he is 15 years old. He scored 11 goals, as we said, last season playing in the Sounders Academy for their under-16 team. And what what they consider to be a very, very bright future for this young man, who is without question the youngest player ever to see the pitch here at Toyota Field, in a professional setting at least. Slipped in, and Ibiaga heads that one straight up and parried away by Restrepo. Kept alive by Narbonne. Ramos sends it across the face of goal, but it'll go out of play.
Here's Pekka again picking up the ball. Something they, I think, came out of the locker room with the intention to make sure they did more of that, getting the ball into his feet, letting him be able to create going forward.
Ajekwa makes the run by the stick. And a corner. Sam Rogers was unable to keep it alive. Fifth corner of the match for San Antonio FC. They had double the corners of Seattle in the first half, 4-2, and this will be our first corner in the second half.
And with it being the first one in the second half, it'll be interesting to see if they took some time at halftime to organize something for a better result.
Rafa Castillo. Take the corner. Good service in, but cleared out. That was a good ball, and the in-swing delivery from Castillo there. The clearance by Seattle. We give them credit on the defensive end. In that first half, they had 11 clearances. A lot of San Antonio's danger in the area was unable to be executed fully. Touched by Tierpak. Vega was after the ball. Rogers came up to it, and Anasinkum couldn't get it forward, and then Narbonne plays a little bit of athleticism as he plays it forward. Settled by McCarthy and worked to the outside. Forbes puts it into the area and cleared away again by Francisco Narbonne. And another corner for San Antonio FC.
So as we're keeping track here, down that right-hand side and behind Ulysses, you're starting to see Billy find a little bit of space there, and there being a little bit more emphasis on trying to find that area on that weak side. And they've been fairly effective with it thus far. Last 10 minutes or so, I think Billy Forbes has had a little bit of joy out there, as well as Cochran getting forward. See if they can continue to build on that.
It was the 64th minute last Saturday when San Antonio FC opened the scoring. They try to do that here in the 64th minute tonight. Ball comes very deep. McCarthy able to get under it, and Miller climbs the ladder.
Another ball from Newnham off the corner, trying to find that far deep side to get that ball redirected back across the face, but just hanging a little bit too long for him today.
Lissi works it forward, but there's no one in white there to play it. San Antonio FC on the reset.
You start to see that separation, that spatial relationship challenge between the Seattle players.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Seattle FC partnership with the Tacoma Rainiers Baseball Club of AAA. They had a big announcement this week as Seattle Sounders FC2 is going to have their own dedicated stadium built in Tacoma, Washington in the coming years. And just again, great things from that entire organization. You'll have the Academy playing at Starfire, the USL side playing in Tacoma, and then big club, of course, at CenturyLink Field in downtown Seattle. On the give and go, Tierpak, space through the middle. Tierpak looking for Billy Forbes, headed away from danger. It lands back to Devin Vega on the outside of the box. Slips one to the top of the six. And that's worked away by Rodriguez.
More confidence in the combination up here on the right-hand side. And then you saw again, trying to find that weak side. Just didn't have the ball to get there, but it was certainly part of the design there.
Newnham. Vega. Nice move. Vega in space. Offside flag goes up on Ajekwa. The combination, though, is starting to look a little cleaner and crisper, though, isn't it, Lance?
Absolutely, and again, you see these blocks of 4 of Seattle, and the space in between them, right in front of that back line, is one I think the staff really thought they were going to be able to take advantage of. And I think with Vega coming in now, he's being more active in that space, and so we're starting to see some success being able to play through there.
Over top of Ibiaga, but he'll get back to the ball and sky this one into the corner.
Not the clearance you want there.
I'm sure Ibiaga feels he could have done better in that situation. Because again, in this type of game, even though San Antonio FC has dominated, it feels like, since the opening kickoff, they're an executed set piece or a mistake away from being down 1-0.
That's exactly right.
Sorry will take the corner. It's the third of the match for Seattle in their first of the half. To the top of the 6, and Ibiaga was able to sky there to settle and clear it away. Parra will settle under this one. Irvin Parra plays into the area. Very deep ball, though, will go over Ben Noonan. And a goal kick for Diego Restrepo.
It's a great win defensively from Ibiaga off that last corner.
Tierpak makes the run to get to the ball here on the near touch line. Manasinkum will be able to take possession of the foul, and Rafa Castillo.
Sorry and Castillo have had a nice little battle all night long, really.
And stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast. Quads Mondays, 8 p.m. Central on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. And another foul against San Antonio FC. So Seattle is moving their way up the pitch by way of the fouls from the back half.
I don't think McCarthy's going to be happy with that decision. I didn't see much in it. But most importantly, resulting in a free service into the box. Pretty good aerial presence from SAFC in these environments, though.
Right into the face of Mission City Firm goes Seattle Sounders FC 2 here in the 70th minute. Scoreless at Toyota Field. Sorry to take the free kick. Ibiaga with the clearance. And again, this will go out. It's going to trickle out and it'll be a corner. The ball was dying, though, when it got to the corner stick. I wasn't completely sure it was going to make it across. Fourth corner of the match for Seattle Sounders FC 2. Sorry again, we'll take it.
An outswinger here.
Plays it short this time. Tierpak with the clearance. Irvin Parra on the ball. And slipped through a crowd as the ball was cleared away. Maybe a little bit of confidence being generated here by the visitors over the last couple minutes.
Yeah, I think they're probably happy with themselves being 71 minutes in and still being 0-0, having sustained some of the chances that SAFC have had.
Good challenge by Pekka to win the ball. Here's Devin Vega in space. The challenge by Narbonne, and it's a good tackle there as he wins the ball away from Vega. Turnover by the young 15-year-old Azriel Gonzalez, although Pekka took that in a tough spot. And McCarthy with a giveaway. Narbonne, oh, he hit the crossbar. Parra. And he couldn't fight through a crowd. He's hauled down in the area. And Noonan clears it away.
bit unfortunate there on that finishing attempt, but pretty opportunistic. SAFC really haven't given up much up until that point, but a little slip there.
Gonzalez on the outside. And could not keep the ball alive on the byline. Well, this was a rare miscue by the back four, and I said in our bond, it was actually David Olsen who got to that and drilled it off the bar. So close for Seattle. Vega looking to Billy Forbes into the area. Forbes just wide as he put it across the face of goal. And that's exactly where you would like to have Billy Forbes with a ball on his foot in a 0-0 game.
Absolutely, like we said earlier, Vega getting the ball and being able to turn in front of that back line and slip that ball in behind Ulysses. Forbes is looking for that, just a little bit unfortunate. They'll be happy with what they created. Just wish they got more for the result.
Two really good chances back to back. 73rd minute. Anna Sinkum and Tierpak go up for the ball, and a throw-in awarded for San Antonio FC. Castillo. Cochran was upset. He was making the run, and Rafa never saw him. And then by the time Rafa delivered the ball, Cochran was already out of position. Becca will earn a foul. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com and following them on Twitter @USL.
Yeah, a long run forward from Cochran on that last sequence. A good run as well. Just unfortunate Castillo didn't see him.
Anna Sinkum can't keep it alive on the touchline. San Antonio FC will earn a throw-in. Each team has used one substitute to this point. Forbes, far flank. Well played there by Ulysses. Ulysses wins a battle here at this time. Narbonne through the middle. Mara trying to slip one to Gonzalez, and the ball never came to him cleanly. Pekka. Rafa Castillo. Vega to the outside, pushing forward. Here's Newnham. Beg your pardon, Cochran. Back to Vega. Turning to Cochran.
2v2 out on the touch. Good patience, though.
Ibiaga as they switch ends. Tierpak goes back to the outside. Nice move by Tierpak. Creates a little space into the box. Tierpak gives it a go off the side of the net.
Rafa was making a good run to the top of the D there.
We'll get our second substitute of the game for San Antonio FC, as well it looks like for Seattle Sounders FC too. Victor Araujo is going to make his first appearance of 2017 as he will take out A.J. Ajekwa, who had a fabulous match this evening. For Araujo, who tore his ACL in a game against Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC last June, in a game we had for you on Fox Sports Southwest, and Araujo at the time was having a wonderful season with a goal and an assist in 11 games, had started in 3 of them, and Araujo, the Trinity University alum, second-year player, 25 years of age, makes his first appearance of the season. Meanwhile, appearance for another academy player for Seattle, Jamie Dimitrov, here in the 76th minute. as he wears number 41 and comes onto the pitch.
Victor's got a nice presence. He's a very, very talented player. I saw him play for Coach Paul McGinley over at Trinity as part of his Brazilian connection. But a very talented player, very dangerous with the ball at his feet.
San Antonio FC on the attack. Dimitrov took off David Olson, who had the best scoring chance of the game for Seattle a couple of minutes ago when he laid one off the crossbar after the miscue by McCarthy. Devin Vega. So he was working there with Araujo, makes his first touch of the season. And a foul on Newnham. Jamie Dimitrov, another 18-year-old. And out of the academy, and again, there are 14 eligible academy players who can sign quote-unquote amateur contracts to play for the USL side. We've got already Azriel Gonzalez and Sam Rogers in there, and now a third in Jamie Dimitrov. Here's Dimitrov's first touch of the game. A throw in one and awarded to San Antonio FC. Ibiaga.
Good skill from Pekka.
Castillo, upfield, Araujo. Nice ball across, Vega in space, footsteps coming. Vega plays to the out flank. Newnham into the box, well, easily caught there by Tyler Miller.
There looked to be some danger in that build-up, but fizzled out at the end. But you're starting to see the game as it's playing out in these last 15, 20 minutes. SAFC very attacking oriented. Seattle very defensively inclined. Not a lot of space for SAFC to be able to play forward in the final third, yet on the other side, every time Seattle gets the ball going forward, there seems to be lots of space to play through.
And Sinkum will take the throw in for Seattle. He works with Jamie Dimitrov. Rogers. Rodriguez pushing forward. Sorry. From 20 yards out. Sorry. Gives it a go. It was blocked and it'll settle down to Diego Restrepo. Soccer fans, Nike's an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com. McCarthy with Cochran making the good run. Up the far flank, Cochran delivers for Araujo, lost his footing on the pitch. And again looking promising, but fizzles out. Irvin Barra kept that. He was trying to sneak it back over the touchline there a couple of times before the whistle blew.
Yeah, Newnham did a good job there defensively.
So we approach the final 10 minutes of the match. Still scoreless at Toyota Field. McCarthy for Devin Vega. Newnham right flank. Trying to play a through ball to Araujo that was intercepted.
One thing we've got to look for in this last 10 minutes here, if you're an SAFC fan, is can you find some space to be able to run at the back line of Seattle? It's obviously a youthful group. Can you look to take advantage of some of these 1v1 and create some 2v1 movement off the ball so that you can get some combination play? But can we attack those players? On the flip side from Seattle, looking really to try to create something against the run of play, which they've done a fairly good job of some little quick counters, just haven't been able to capitalize.
Azriel Gonzalez, Jamie Dimitrov now. Lost his footing and I think sold the foul. Yellow card to Rafa Castillo. And I think that's not for the foul. I think that's more for maybe what's built up for Rafa tonight over the course of the game.
It's quite possible.
the last thing the referee wants to be done is shown up, perhaps, maybe. Well, Rafa's been not happy with a lot of the calls that have gone against him tonight. 81st minute, the card on Castillo.
I think the people at home watching that replay were still looking for contact.
First card of the season for the veteran Castillo. Another set piece here for Seattle Sounders FC2 with Ray Sari and Irvin Parra over the ball here. Parra will play it across to Ulisi. Lorenzo Ramos on the out flank. Back to the inside and conceded possession. Good challenge there. Aaron play up the middle and turn back to the top of the 18-yard box. Cochran looking for Billy Forbes. Nice touch by Billy. Volleyed into midair. Rogers settles under it. Still loose here. It'll come over to Tierpak. Gives it a go and wide. San Antonio FC will face the Phoenix Rising next Saturday night. We'll watch our 7:30 p.m. kickoff live on Fox Sports Southwest. Myself, Chris Sullivan, will have the call for you. Our first of 6 telecasts on Fox Sports Southwest this season. Third substitution for San Antonio FC is Sean Chin will come on in place of Ben Noonan. Sean Chin will make his 6th appearance of the season.
Not a bad night from Noonan overall. Did a pretty good job of keeping things in front of him from a defensive standpoint.
Little defense for offense late in the game. We've seen Sean actually play as a defender because of the lack of depth on the back four there for San Antonio FC. Actually started as a defender in Vancouver a couple of weeks ago. Throw in for Seattle.
I think one thing Sean Chen will have to do is the other thing Ben Noonan did well tonight, which is be able to get forward into those wide spaces.
Chin there, able to win a ball there. He gets forward here as this one served in the direction of Billy Forbes, but cleared away. Ulisi will settle under it. Ramos upfield, Dimitrov. Narbonne tugging at the back. Rafa Castillo, San Antonio FC. Take possession here as we're about to hit the 85th minute of play. Here's Sean Chin. Again lining up in Ben Noonan's spot as he works ahead for Tierpak. Tierpak outside the box. Tierpak loses possession. San Antonio FC though will earn a throw in. And they're moving quickly here. Vega, Tierpak, Araujo. Tierpak and Vega, oh, the combination passing has been excellent here. Castillo now. Cochran along the outside. Billy Forbes, again with Ulisi shadowing him. And Ulisi able to win another ball, but it'll be a throw in here for San Antonio FC. Sean Chin. Watched by Gonzalez playing upfield. Good run by Tierpak. Anasinkum gets back. Tierpak lofts it into Billy Forbes' area. Settled down, ball free for a moment. And Miller came forward just before Araujo could get the touch.
A few really good minutes here from Tierpak, being really dangerous on this right-hand side. And again, that ball trying to get in behind Ulisi on the left side.
He has been, I'm talking about Chris Tierpak, excellent last 2 weeks for San Antonio FC. 7 goals a year ago with Swope Park Rangers, and next to Billy Forbes, I think arguably San Antonio FC's best signing in the offseason. But Seattle will earn a free kick here in the 86th minute. As this game remains 0-0. And it's Ray Sari over the ball. Right-footed midfielder. Sari bends one into the box. Ibiaga climbs the ladder to clear it away. Dimitrov lofts one very deep. Restrepo will let it go out of play. Sean Chin. Tierpak again. Tierpak creates a little space, challenge from behind, and a foul. And a card to be handed to Ray Sorry. His fourth of the season. 87th minute, the yellow comes against Ray Sorry.
You've got to applaud Tierpak's effort here in these closing minutes. He's just doing a really good job of coming off and finding the ball and being able to turn and face up and then running at the back line, something I think SAFC maybe hasn't done quite enough of, primarily because they aren't really getting possession underneath and being able to turn and face. But when he's done that, he's been excellent.
Devin Vega and Rafa Castillo here as San Antonio FC looks to go for goal here in the 88th minute. A bit of a decoy. Castillo lofts one, headed down, and just wide. And another good look. And Ibiaga was able to creep forward again, trying to head that one in.
Well, really a pretty good ball, just bending away just a little bit quicker than Ibiaga was able to deal with, but a great effort on the back post. You can see why they're trying to find him on the end of these set pieces.
Jackson Reagan, another academy player, getting set to come in for Seattle. So he's going to take out Irvin Parra. This is defense for offense for Seattle here late. Trying to hang on. It was scoreless draw. How about these numbers? 60% possession still for San Antonio FC. They have outshot Seattle 14-5. Seattle Sounders FC2 has 0 shots on target in this game officially.
Yeah, I really think it's been a pretty one-sided game in terms of the statistical line. However, you've got to applaud Seattle for what they've come in here and done, and really, as we've spoken so many times about being a young team, they've stayed pretty disciplined and really haven't given away a lot of high-quality chances. And the ones they have, they've been able to manage.
Just 3 on target for San Antonio FC. 25 clearances in the game for the young Sounders, who are trying to hang on against the top team of the table. On a bad ball there as San Antonio FC will try to counter. Sean Chin will earn himself a foul and a free kick. Arbonne commits the foul. Another dangerous area here for San Antonio FC is we're in the 90th minute. Five-game winning streak on the line for San Antonio FC. Rafa Castillo is the low man over the ball here. Castillo pops one towards Ibiaga, but well defended. Arbonne will let it go out of play. Throw in for San Antonio. 4 minutes of stoppage time will be added here. Castillo for McCarthy. Cochran, Billy Forbes. And Billy shake one loose here in stoppage time. Forbes. And just couldn't do anything with that one, a little bit too deep.
It's what they want. I think it's a matchup they want in these last 4 minutes is Forbes faced up with Ulysses. Not that Ulysses is a bad player at all. I think he's been working a lot out there tonight. So trying to take advantage of that. And then obviously you want the ball on the end of the foot of your best playmaker.
San Antonio FC has not been held without a goal in any of their previous 8 matches coming into play tonight. And that would, as you mentioned before, Lance, would almost be a monumental achievement in itself by this young Seattle team coming on the road.
And if I'm not mistaken, they've given up
the second most goals in USL play. 15 goals conceded. It's tied for the most in the Western Conference.
Well, if you don't give up goals, you don't lose matches. So something to be said for that.
Castillo. Lofts one over the top. Can Cochran get to it? He cannot. A little late in the game. And the last couple of weeks we've had fireworks a little late in the game. Sacramento, of course, we had James Kiffey and Pekka, and a yellow card again handed out. That's Rodriguez who's going to pick up the yellow. And a yellow on Victor Araujo. So Rodriguez and Victor Araujo from the 92nd minute here. Is Hallmark still open? Oof, there's a lot of yellows in the match tonight. There's what happened between Cochran and Ulissi there. L came back in. Where does Araujo get a yellow here?
That's a good question.
Seattle will work back. Miller. Sky this one over the midfield line. Sorry, just gives it a go to the outside. Seattle's just trying to kill off these final couple of minutes of stoppage time. Really no push for them here. It's at San Antonio FC's feet if they can come up with something. Cochran. Too deep for Araujo. Araujo will get back on the ball, winning it away from Rodriguez L. Aldo L with a good challenge there. And he's run over by Araujo to earn a free kick.
All of these moments playing into the advantage of Seattle. You hate to see a unnecessary free kick given away there. Rather than play that out, keep it in the run of play.
And Tyler Miller taking all the time in the world to get this one upfield. Ball will hang up, settled by McCarthy. Evan Vega, one away by Ulissi. Vega on the throw-in. We're through the 4 minutes of stoppage time. And right at 4 minutes, the whistle blows. And for the first time this season, San Antonio FC has been held off the score sheet. The good news is that they hold Seattle Sounders FC 2 off the score sheet. A 0-0 draw at Toyota Field tonight. Probably what the visitors will take back with them. Happy to the Pacific Northwest. Maybe not so much here for the home side this evening, Lance.
Yeah, you know, I think SAFC are going to be disappointed. They had enough quality chances to be able to convert and to get the 3 points out of this match, being at home against a side that they probably were the top team on the evening, but just didn't get the points to show it. Seattle will be happy with it. But yet again, another match for SAFC where they've gotten a point out of it.
That's all you ask for. And you get points as the season goes along. San Antonio FC, their 5-game winning streak comes to an end, but it's 7-0-2 now, 23 points. They'll remain atop the table. But that's, I guess, the mark of a good team when you're disappointed when you come away with only 1 instead of 3, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, you know, again, the scoreline didn't reflect, obviously, what they would have wanted out of the result tonight. I think a good exercise, some more minutes for Devin Vega, some minutes for Victor Araujo. So being able to continue to develop into this season and still being able to take something out of it, although not as much as they would have liked.
San Antonio FC's next match is next Saturday. San Antonio FC will take on the Phoenix Rising, which is 7:30 kickoff live on Fox Sports Southwest. For Lance Key, our entire Fox Sports Southwest crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Our final score from Toyota Field, San Antonio FC and Seattle Sounders FC 2 played to a 0-0 draw this evening. The following has been a presentation of the United Soccer League and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody.
shut up.
In my life. I think I'm about to cry. You better not.
Every single time I
Get down!
You always have
Back. My back.
It's really hard to describe. It's like all these tiny little things.
Yes, things.
Are actually friendship.
Little ideas can turn into big dreams. Big dreams require careful planning and the right partner. A partner dedicated to helping you take care of your employees, protect your business, and plan for the future. It's sometimes overwhelming. It's often exciting. It's your story, and we can help. SWBC.